The boarding gate buzzed with restless passengers, tapping phones and sighing into paper cups of airport coffee. Ryan Keller stood near the front, silver briefcase in hand. Impatience written all over his face. "Figures," he muttered loud enough for others to hear. "They can't get anything right these days." A few heads turned. A black woman seated nearby looked up briefly, calm, composed, her focus fixed on the flight tablet in her hands. The gate agent's voice crackled over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're delayed briefly for final captain checks," Ryan snorted, rolling his eyes. "Bet the pilot's another rookie who doesn't belong here," he said, smirking to the man beside him. The woman didn't react. She simply glanced his way once, her gaze cool as glass, before returning to her notes. For a reason he couldn't explain, her silence made him uneasy. A few minutes later, the intercom chimed again. This time, the same woman's voice filled the terminal. "Good afternoon, passengers of Flight 247. This is your captain speaking." And every head in that terminal turned, including his. The scene cuts to earlier that morning, inside the cockpit of Flight 247. Every switch, every lever gleamed under the soft glow of sunrise. Captain Amara Lewis ran her hand across the panel, double-checking readings with a surgeon's precision. "Hydraulics green, navigation aligned. Let's keep her steady, team," she said calmly. Her first officer, a young trainee, smiled nervously. "You make it look easy, Captain." Amara's lips curved slightly. "The skies don't care about color or gender, only control. Remember that." She was respected, not because she demanded it, but because she earned it. Years of turbulence, both in the air and on the ground, had carved grace into her every motion, cut back to the boarding gate. Ryan Keller stood pacing, his voice rising again. "If they'd hire real pilots instead of checking diversity boxes, maybe we'd leave on time." A few people shifted uncomfortably. Behind him, the same black woman, Amara, walked past quietly, pulling her cap lower, her pilot wings gleaming under the fluorescent light. No one noticed, except a small child holding his mother's hand. The mother smiled at Amara. "Thank you for getting us home safe, Captain." Ryan froze mid-sentence, the words landing like static in his chest. Amara gave a polite nod, her composure unbroken, and disappeared down the jet bridge. He blinked, confused, his smirk faltering for the first time. The boarding call echoed through the terminal, but his mind replayed the moment. Her voice, that quiet authority, that impossible grace. He laughed it off then, but the truth was about to board right beside him. The cabin hummed with low chatter as passengers settled into their seats. Ryan threw his briefcase into the overhead bin, sighing loud enough for half the row to hear. "Unbelievable," he grumbled to the flight attendant. 2 hours late. "Maybe next time hire someone who can keep a schedule." The attendant forced a polite smile. "Sir, we'll be departing shortly." "Please take your seat." Ryan slumped back, muttering to the man beside him. "Bet the captain's some fresh recruit. Probably here for optics." A few passengers exchanged glances, uncomfortable but silent. The cockpit door opened briefly. A silhouette passed through, steady posture, crisp uniform, but no one paid attention. Moments later, the overhead speaker cracked to life. A calm, confident voice filled the cabin. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain, Amara Lewis, welcoming you aboard Flight 247 to Chicago. We'll be cruising at 34,000 feet, and we appreciate your patience." Ryan's head jerked up. The same woman from the gate. Gasps rippled through the aisle, followed by applause. Amara continued, unbothered by the irony hanging in the air. "We'll make up for the delay in the air, so please, sit back, relax, and trust the crew." Ryan sank into his seat, the color draining from his face. The man beside him chuckled softly. "Guess you got your real pilot, huh?" Ryan forced a laugh, but his hands trembled slightly as he adjusted his seatbelt. For the first time, he wasn't sure if the turbulence he felt was from the plane or his conscience. What would you do if you were there? Stay quiet or clap back when ignorance takes flight? But when the turbulence hit, Ryan learned what leadership truly sounded like. The cabin lights flickered as the seatbelt sign dinged. A low rumble rolled through the plane, then a sharp jolt. Passengers gasped, hands clutching armrests. The turbulence hit hard, tossing coffee cups and hearts into throats. Ryan's knuckles turned white. "We're done for," he muttered, gripping his seat as the plane dipped again. Then came her voice, steady, calm, absolute. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. We've encountered a pressure pocket, but it's nothing we can't handle. Keep your seatbelts fastened. We've got this under control." Her tone sliced through the fear like sunlight through fog. The cabin fell quiet. Even crying children stilled as if her confidence carried them all. In the cockpit, Amara's hands moved with practiced grace, slight adjustments, smooth corrections. "Easy, girl," she murmured to the plane. "We're dancing, not fighting." Moments later, the turbulence faded. The horizon steadied. A wave of applause broke out from the cabin. Her voice returned, lighter now. "Told you. I've been doing this a while." Ryan leaned back, breath trembling, eyes glassy with awe and regret. "She saved us," he whispered. "And I almost—" But he couldn't finish. "Share this if you believe true. Professionalism silences prejudice." But what Amara did after landing turned one man's shame into a lesson the world would remember. The wheels touched down with a soft thud, and a wave of applause swept through the cabin. Passengers exhaled relief and gratitude, some clapping, some wiping quiet tears. Ryan stayed seated, hands clasped tightly. For the first time that day, he had nothing to say. When the cockpit door opened, Captain Amara Lewis stepped out, calm, poised, radiant under the fluorescent lights. Her pilot's wings caught the glow like gold. Ryan rose slowly, removing his cap. "I owe you an apology," he said softly. "And my respect." Amara gave a small smile. "Respect isn't owed, Mr. Keller, it's earned. And learned." A little girl nearby tugged Ryan's sleeve, whispering with awe, "That's the coolest captain ever." Ryan chuckled, a genuine laugh, humbled and changed. Later that evening, Ryan sat at his desk, staring at his phone screen. Then he typed, "Today I judged someone before she spoke, and she saved my life. Captain Amara Lewis, thank you for proving what real leadership looks like." The post went viral overnight. Headline after headline read, "Passenger learns a lesson at 34,000 feet. Meet the pilot who changed minds." Final scene, Amara walking the jet bridge into sunrise, the sky opening ahead. Her voice echoes in memory. "We've got this under control," because she always did. Subscribe for more stories where courage takes the pilot's seat. What if the voices we dismiss are the ones keeping us safe all along?